Welcome to my afternoon yoga session. I'm going to show you a breathing technique. I'm going to use my bolster and a blanket to sit up. And you can use more blankets if you like, because you want to be very comfortable. I'm going to straddle the bolster and I'm going to sit here. Now, if this is not 100% comfortable for you, then I'd like you to raise yourself up with more blankets or even more pillows. The first thing I do is lift my flesh away from my sit bones. And then I'm going to adjust my kneecaps by lifting my kneecaps. And I would like to sit up very straight. Imagine someone pulling you from the crown of your head up to the ceiling. So your spine is 100% aligned. So you might have to just sit back a little bit and you take your hands in front of you. And I would like you to just pay attention to your breath. Close your eyes and pay attention to your breathing. You see, the breath does not like to be controlled. As soon as you start thinking about the breath, something happens. So just notice and observe. Don't judge, just observe, like you're an innocent bystander. How long is my inhalation? How long is my exhalation? I'm going to teach you how to center the breath. If you would be counting on your inhalation, it would be inhale 1, 2, exhale 3, 4. Now let's see if we can lengthen the exhalation by 1 count. Inhale 1, 2, and exhale 1, 2, 3. You can count any which way you like. Preferably, your exhalation should be 1 count more than your inhalation. Now, if at any time you start feeling a tightness in your throat, just go right back to your own breathing and try it another time. The same thing if you get a headache, that's not a good thing either. You see, pranayama needs to be practiced just like your asanas. Pranayama is breathing, and we need to practice breathing just like we do everything else. So it doesn't always work right from the beginning. So we're going to approach breathing very gently. Just pay attention to your breath. See if your exhalation is 1 count longer than your inhalation. So I'm inhaling 1, 2, exhaling 3, 4, 5. If you happen to have a natural pause after the exhalation, then you know you're doing it right. And I like to invite you to have a pause after the inhalation. So you inhale 1, 2, pause, exhale 3, 4, 5, pause. These pauses have to come natural. If you force them and you feel any kind of tightness, or you have the immediate urge to inhale right away, then that's not right either. That wouldn't be called breathing exercising. So we need to do this in a very conscious, very gentle way. We're going to inhale 1, 2, pause, exhale 3, 4, 5, pause. How is that working for you? Good. Try it again. Inhaling 1, 2, pause. Exhaling 3, 4, 5, pause. Now it's only when that exhalation pause comes naturally and you have absolutely no urge to immediately take another breath, that's when you know you're doing it right. You're on the right track. Breathing calms the nervous system. It's an awareness that we all love to have. So we're going to come out of the breathing, and I'd like you to just come forward, stretch your arms forward as much as you can, and at the same time, sit back again. Lowering your arms as much as you can to the floor. I'm holding onto the floor and I'm pushing my shoulders down. Now, if your head does not reach the floor, that's why we have this block. Wonderful prop to have. So you're going to reach out and see if your forehead can rest on the block. We're going to just take 3 breaths. Inhaling and exhaling. And on every exhalation, you were pushing your shoulders further down to have a really long back. This was dog pose done in a seated position. So we're going to continue taking the block away. And I'm going to sit next to the bolster with my thigh as close as possible to the bolster, and I'm lowering my body, the bolster on my side, and my palm is facing up. And then I'm going to extend my right leg, and I'm using my right arm to meet my left palm. And I'm just going to take 3 breaths, opening the right side of my body, doing absolutely nothing else but stretching right here on the floor. Bring your breath to create softness wherever you feel tightness. Last breath. Then pushing myself back up and moving to the other side. Again, you're going to sit next to the bolster with your right thigh next to the blanket and bolster. You're going to inhale and lower yourself over that bolster, opening up the right palm, stretching the left leg, and now meeting the palm with your left hand. Inhaling and exhaling, using the exhalation to stretch this part of your body and bring softness right here. This is a gravity-fed pose. It's meant to be enjoyed. Last breath. And then using your arms again. And we're going to remove that bolster, keeping the blanket. I'm just going to open it up for softness. And we're going to lie down. The first thing we'll do is we're just going to notice your back, that natural curve that you have right here. This is the curve that we want to keep as we straighten the legs. Now the first thing we'll do is we'll take the right knee and hold on to the right knee. If you ever did have any knee injuries, it is recommended that you hold on underneath the knee. Otherwise, you can hold on above if you like. What you're doing is you're going to pull that right knee towards your right shoulder. We're going to do this with the breath. If this leg happens to come up, you're welcome to just keep it bent. So you're going to inhale, and on the exhalation, pull this knee to your right shoulder. We're going to do it 2 more times. Inhaling, exhaling, pulling that knee a little bit closer to the right shoulder. And for the last time, inhaling and completing this stretch for today. We're going to change legs. The right leg gets stretched out. Left leg is being held onto underneath the knee. And you're going to, with the breath again, pull this knee to your left shoulder. Inhaling, pulling that knee. Pay attention to the lower curve in your body. That one needs to stay. Stretching the adductors. Last breath. And placing that leg back down. Now you need the belt for the next thing. It's going to be Supta Padangusthasana. And I'm going to show you the belt. We're going to make this big loop, as big as possible, inserting the belt towards both buckles and then around the second one back into the first. You're going to take this belt around you, and let's see if the belt is long enough. I'm going to make it just a little bit longer. So you want to be able to stand in the belt and then bring that belt up to your shoulder blades. And I'm going to lie back so the leg will come up. Now, how far does that leg come up? That depends on this lower curve in your spine. If that lower curve goes away and you have a completely flat back, that means that the leg is too far up and it needs to go further down, and you need to make the belt longer. So I'm going to place this belt right here, and I'm going to stretch this belt. If that leg happens to be floating in the air, you also would take the leg and just keep it bent. So you're going to push that knee through that leg as much as you can, and then you're going to extend and spread the toes. Hold on to the belt on the side and stretch your calves and your hamstring. We're going to do this with the breath. Inhaling and exhaling, bringing your exhalation to where you feel tightness. And your leg is probably working really hard because you're going to push this knee through. If it starts shaking, that's okay. Inhaling. Exhaling, bring softness to where you feel tightness. And last inhalation. And exhaling. You're going to switch your legs by simply stepping into the belt, taking the right foot down. And again, use all of your power that you have in your legs by straightening this knee. This leg has to be completely straight, and the foot needs to be activated so the toes are spreading. Going to inhale again 3 times. And exhaling, bringing softness to the calf and to the hamstring. Working that leg, making sure it is straight and paying attention to that lower curve in your lower back. Last breath. And letting go of the belt. Now the counter pose for this is just simply upside down child pose. You're going to grab underneath your knees or above the knees, whatever your preference is, depending on your knees. And you're just giving yourself a hug. This time your back wants to be long. Try to extend your back as long as possible so you can feel every vertebra in your back. 3 breaths. Enjoying this resting pose. Drawing your knees close And then we're going to continue with some ab work. I'm going to roll over to my right side, push myself back up, and we're going to use this block. You lie back and put this block between your thighs and squeeze your thighs together. Now I'm going to place my hands right here, and I'm going to lift up my feet into a 90-degree angle, squeezing the block and making sure I still have a lower curve in the back. So I'm going to keep my hands right here, making sure that the lower curve stays, because I'm going to inhale, and on the exhalation, I'm going to lower my feet, still keeping this lower curve. And then I'm going to inhale again to 90 degrees, squeezing the block, and on the exhalation, lower my feet. Now this curve is important. Inhale last time, and bringing my feet back down. Now it's possible that you start shaking, that you can only do this once or twice, that's fine. 3 times would be great, but make sure that you still have that lower curve. When that lower curve disappears, that's when you know you're not doing it right. And this is really important to do it right. So I'm going to take the block out, and we're going to go into opening the hips. I'm going to take that right foot, I'm going to place it onto my left knee. And you see the space that I'm creating, this opening? This is exactly for my hand to reach through and to hold on to my left hand. Now, if your head starts to come up, I would like you to take the bolster and place it under your head like this. Because this pose is only done right if your head can be resting. So I'm going to move the bolster away, because there are certain people that will be more limber and more flexible that don't need it, and other people are tight and they will need it. But the important thing is that you reach through this opening, hold on to the other hand, and you're going to draw the left knee closer to your chest. I'm going to use my right elbow to push the knee away from my chest. And with the breath, I'm going to inhale, and on the exhalation, see if that knee can come just a little bit closer. And 2 more inhalations. And exhale, bring the breath to where you feel tightness. Last breath. Drawing that knee as close as you possibly can, resisting with that right elbow. And now I'm going to just feel and see what that just did to my hips. I'm just going to close my eyes and notice, does the right side feel different from the left side? Hopefully it does. Hopefully it will feel more open and it feel longer. Now we're going to do the other side. This left foot is going onto the right knee. We're going to create this space. I'm going to reach through with my left hand, and I'm going to join my right hand behind the knee, using my left elbow to resist this knee. We again want to look for that natural curve in the lower back. That's why it's important that you have a pillow under your head if your head comes up. We're going to inhale and draw that right knee closer to the chest. And again, feeling this opening of the hip right here. Inhaling, exhaling, drawing that knee a little bit closer. And last breath. Bringing this pose to the maximum, and now lowering that foot. I'm going to take that block, place it back again, squeezing the thighs together. And I would like to have you hold on to the sticky mat. So holding on to the sticky mat, walking your feet close to your hip, and you're going to inhale and raise the hips towards the ceiling. And can you stay here for an inhalation? And exhaling, coming back down. Now it's important to squeeze the block because you want your lower back to be happy. If you feel any kind of crunching in your lower back, that wouldn't be good. So again, we're going to inhale first and raise the hip towards the ceiling, squeezing that block. and exhaling back down, using your stomach muscles as you come down. Can you do it one more time? Let's try. Inhale and bringing the hips up towards the ceiling and exhaling. This time go up on your toes and then come on down very, very slowly. And taking that block away. And we're going to just bring our hands to the side, and we're going to lower our knees to the right side, letting them drop, keeping the shoulders on the ground, and just feeling that side stretch. Taking 3 breaths. Enjoying this pose. And on the 3rd exhalation, bring your knees back to center and to the other side, stretching the right side. Both shoulders are on the ground. Taking 3 breaths. Last inhalation. And bringing the legs back to center. And now I'm going to roll to the side, push myself up. We're going to need the sandbag and the bolster. I'm going to sit back against the bolster. I'm going to take the sandbag, place it right here on my lap. And I'm going to lie back, using my hands, lying back on the bolster. Now, if this is not comfortable for you, please use a pillow underneath your head, right to your shoulders. The next thing we'll do is we walk our feet up close to our hips and lift up the hips to make sure that that sacrum is happy as we come back down. If you can, this will be the time when you straighten your legs and you put your sandbag, a little bit of weight right on your thighs. If your lower back does not feel good in this pose, because there's a lot of extension going on, you can keep your legs bent like this. I'm going to straighten my legs, keep the sandbag right here, and I'm going to bring my elbows onto the floor and close my eyes and let that bolster press the spine into my lungs. You see, the lungs are really quite large. They go from your lower ribs all the way up to the collarbone, and they take up all this space in your chest. And by having the bolster push the spine into your lungs, it will restrict your breathing just a little bit. So we're going to use the breath now to massage the lungs. You're going to inhale, and you feel it when you inhale that your breath is just being restricted a little bit. So just stay there and exhale very slowly. Inhaling again. Expanding the intercostal muscles between the ribs. Filling your lungs with air. And then exhaling, always through the nose, using your stomach muscles to press that last bit of oxygen out. Inhaling again. Feeling the back of your ribs expanding and exhaling. And if this feels really good to you, you can stay here and keep on breathing a little longer. But I'm going to show you something else now. The sandbag goes away. We're going to roll on the side and use our hands to push ourselves back up. And for the next pose, we're going to need the wall. We are going to continue to relax, and I'm going to show you Viparita Karani. For that, I'm going to take this blanket, open it up, and place it against the wall. And we're going to stand very close to the wall with our hips as close as possible, sliding down the wall, and then bringing our hands down and our legs up. So you want to be as close to the wall as possible with your hip. And then we bring the arms up, keeping the elbows on the ground is important here. Until the elbows are lifting, we're going to bring the arms up. And as the elbows start lifting, you bring the arms back to your side and just keep them up as much as you can or as far up as you can with the elbows still comfortable. We're going to close the eyes. Take a deep breath. And we're going to stay here for 5 minutes. See, this pose is very good for you, especially if you have a job that makes you stand on your feet all day long, because we are reversing gravity. We're going to close the eyes and just relax, enjoying this feeling. We're going to slide our feet down the wall, roll over to the right side, and use our arms to push ourselves back up and go straight into Shavasana. I'm going to move this blanket up, bring the other 2 blankets with me, and place them right here at the end. Have your eye pillow ready and the bolster. I'm going to lie down with my legs on these 2 blankets. Make sure that your feet are not touching the wall. You don't want anything else touching. We're going to lie back, and we're going to go through the adjustments first. First thing we do is we're going to adjust the hips, taking the flesh towards our heels and bringing our lower back down so our sacrum is happy. Then stretch the right leg, let it fall to the side. Stretch the left leg, let it fall to the side. And then we're going to take our head and lift it and bring the chin to the jugular notch and let the head go back down. Then we take this bolster and place it on our thighs to give us just a little bit of weight. And the eye pillow, and place that on our forehead and roll it down over the eyes. Now we're going to tuck in the shoulders by holding onto the elbows, lifting the right shoulder, tucking it carefully under, lifting the left shoulder and tucking the shoulder blade down, placing our arms to the side with the fingers just slightly curled up. And now you're going to swallow and take a deep breath and collect everything that was negative today and let it go out of your body with this exhalation. This would be a good time to sigh, or you might want to yawn. So just take a deep breath. Let it all go. And what you want in your body is nothing but positive. You're going to relax the eyes like they're floating in water and becoming very soft. The eye pillow will help you relax. And then you're going to get rid of all the wrinkles in your face and let the face be very nice and soft. Then you're going to wiggle your jaw because those jaw bones are holding on all the time. They want to relax. The tongue is peeled off the roof of your mouth and let it rest between the bottom teeth. Your lips are barely touching. Take the energy from the center of the lips to the corners of the mouth and curl them slightly up. Then you want to allow the trachea to become very open and wide to allow the maximum amount of oxygen into your lungs. Scan down your neck, your shoulders, down your arms. There's softness behind the elbows and softness in the wrists. Come back to the heart region. Scan down your stomach muscles, your hips, your thighs, and then softness behind the knees and softness in the ankles. Come back to the heart region, and that's where we're going to stay. We're going to observe our breath, just like the ocean, waves crashing ashore and receding. We're taking on this steady rhythm. And we're going to think about absolutely nothing. If the mind presents you with a thought, you're going to say, nope, not now. I'm going to spend 10 minutes in Shavasana. And I want to be very quiet without thinking about the next thing we're going to do or anything at all. You see, that's why Shavasana is such a hard pose, because we're asking the mind to be quiet. That's what yoga is all about, bringing the mind into silence. And with your next exhalation, start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Stretch your arms above your head. Just wiggle around a little bit. And when you're ready, roll over to your right side, taking the bolster away. Let the eye pillow just fall off and curl up into a fetal position. Let the light come softly into your eyes, holding one eye shut and just opening your one eye slightly. And only after the light has adjusted in your eyes, use your hands and your arms to sit back up into a seated position. You're going to take one more breath. Inhale, bring your hands together in front of your chest. Namaste. And this concludes the afternoon session.